Tonight's Tuesday, May 19th, 2026. This is the Zoning Board of Appeals. Call the meeting to order. We'll continue with Nelson Burlingame on the new business. Property located at 186 Burlingame Road. Mr. Burlingame, you want to come up? So, we have your petition from last time. I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to add before we start kind of discussing what we think or whatever.
No.
I don't know if you guys took a look at this or not.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So, this is my thinking on this. So, Nelson got from a prior zoning enforcement officer in the town he sent us in 2001.
Bob Gothia?
Yeah. The prior CEO in the town. And then, so there was a letter to him in 1998, 1999 that says that from Gothier that says that is dated December 29th, 1998 in the packet. It said that his business is registered and that he was in violation. And then a subsequent letter a month later, on January 20th, 1999, says that the town was provided the information and that he was granted that the actual use was a pre-existing non-conforming use.
Yeah.
So the original one was that he had zone agricultural. He was storing the equipment on your property, employees at the location, leaving vehicles and operating vehicles at the work site, then it's operating a business.
Could I say something?
Sure, that's,
It was a possible violation, and then he, reviewed everything, and I gave him all the information.
after you gave him all the
and then
information,
made
he
his
came to the conclusion that he thought it was a
Pre-existing before
pre-existing
80,
conforming use.
87, I guess it was.
So, the review by Kurt, the current review that brought the petition, the appeal before us today, Kurt, so what happened is that was a single lot with a single-family house in this 46 by 40 two-story building with the shed on the property that was originally one lot. And then in 2025, the lot was subdivided into 3 lots. So Lot A, correct me if I'm wrong, Lot A has the garage, Lot B has a single-family structure on it, dwelling, and Lot C is vacant land. That's correct, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's ABC, but yes.
Yeah, but one of you.
Yeah.
Am I right on that? One,
Right.
ABC?
Yeah.
I didn't get past G with my alphabet, so.
Yeah.
So anyways, so after the lot was split, the current zoning enforcement law reviewed it, and his position is that the garage and the structures and the use on Lot A were an accessory to the principal use was a single-family dwelling, which is now located on a separate lot, Lot B. That separate lot, Lot B, has been since conveyed for valuable consideration. So now they're in different ownership between Lot A, B, and C. Well, A and C, I don't know what C's at, but really the only two we're concerned about. So the current determination was that the garage is an accessory use subject to 200 dash, it's like 3 point something 8C, I think.
Yeah.
3.1B, and I think it's under C that he was looking at. If you guys want to look at here's an extra copy of the bylaw. I don't know if you got a copy of the you got a copy of the bylaw with you?
Yeah, I got
You got a copy of the bylaw with you? Hey, just use that one.
Could I say?
No, this one right here, that's the old one. You can use that.
I don't think I ever mentioned this, but legal definition and land use rules, and it comes out of that legal definition of accessory buildings and
Yeah.
property law. It says, the legal definition of accessory buildings and permanent found in the local zoning ordinance and building codes, while specific language varies by city or county. These rules generally define an accessory building as a second structure located on the same lot as the main house. Its purpose must be incidental, meaning it supports the main use of the property rather than acting as a primary focus. Well, a big garage like that, and all my equipment, and everything, that was the prime focus of my
Well, that's
my
really the
business.
question that we have to decide, is whether or not that garage is actually an accessory use, or it's considered a principal use, and whether or not the bylaw itself allows for multiple principal uses on a single lot to begin with. So I think that's where our real question comes out of. So his position is that it's an accessory use. So I think, from what I've gathered is that if the use is an accessory use to a principal use,
Right.
then when the lot is further subdivided, that use itself does not maintain the pre-existing non-conforming grandfather that it enjoyed before it's subdivided. If we consider the garage as a principal use in itself, even when it was in a single lot, the division of the lots, that grandfather status would carry over as long as that the principal uses were separate, so that or it didn't create a further non-conformity. So if you needed each principal, like if you needed what's on lot B is condition, like you can't use what's on lot B without lot A or vice versa.
Right.
Or there's some crossover between the two lots, then the grandfather doesn't carry over. But as long as what's on each individual lot is a separate lot individually, is a separate use on its own without any kind of interference between the two, then we could make that determination if we felt that we wanted to, that is considered a principal use. And that's totally up to us if we want to do that. I think that's
That
what.
would be a change of use.
It wouldn't be a change of use, it's a continuation of an existing use. That's, his point is, Mr. Burlingame's point is that the use as a garage is a principal use in and of itself. Even though it was a single lot with a single-family dwelling, which is a principal use, and this garage, which he considers a principal use, the zoning enforcement officer says that he determined that it was an accessory use. So
Right.
if it's a principal use, then he can rely on the pre-existing non-conforming determination that was made back in 1999 by the prior zoning enforcement officer, if we make that determination.
Right, but
If
that
we-
was for 184.
But which 184 was a one lot at the time.
Right, so now this is 186.
Right. So if 184 contained all three of those lots, which is now 184 and 186.
Yeah.
So if we make the determination that the garage in the single-family house on what was considered prior to 2025, both viable principal uses, and now that they're separated, we could determine that each use is okay on its own, and that the garage at what's now considered 186 is a pre-existing non-conforming use and is not in violation of our bylaw.
Yeah.
If we say that the garage was in fact an accessory use to the single-family dwelling, then it's in violation of our bylaw, possibly, unless there's another use regulation in our bylaw that would allow that use in that zone. So we could make a determination that it was an accessory use, but we also, and we could make a determination that the use at 186 falls under a different subsection of the use regulation table, and okay it that way, or we could say that accessory use doesn't fall into the allowable uses under our regulation table, and that it's not allowed. And at that point, nothing would happen with the structure, but the use would have to terminate at that point. So it's not like, because the use, when he subdivided it into a conforming lot. That is a conforming lot. There's no issue with that at all.
Right.
And so it's whether or not that garage can still be used for, and in my mind, this is what I think, and we can discuss this if you guys want. In my mind, the original determination letter there was language in there, what it was, I think it was either with compliance. All right, so the original determination letter from 1998 is that he was storing equipment on the property, having employees and leaving vehicles, and then operating. So he wasn't actually operating it as like an office or whatever, it was for storage
Right.
and things like that. So my opinion, and I don't have, unless Mr. Burlingame has something that he provided to Mr. Gothier, other than that, that's, my opinion is that if we were to allow the use as a principal use in pre-existing non-conforming, it would be limited to those things only, because my guess is that that's what he provided.
When I provided stuff, I provided a list of equipment and stuff.
Right, but,
So when he says storage, he meant storage, but it was storage or put equipment in it, it was equipment.
you storing equipment and vehicles in the garage, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
But there's no office, there's no mailbox or anything like that.
There was no office.
So in my opinion is that, and like I said, is that you guys disagree, that's fine. In my opinion, that if we're gonna allow that and do that, then it would be limited to that. And any of the uses above and beyond that would be considered non-conforming, and they would either need to get the proper approval, or they would need to terminate that particular use if it wasn't allowed.
Hmm.
All right, I've said my piece.
I don't know, putting limitations on the property though. We've come into this before. We've
But I mean,
talked about
but-
it in a few different situations.
But the fact is that if that was, we're talking about like, we're talking about what the use of the property is, right? To say
Yeah,
that, he is, if he's relying on that it's a pre-existing non-conforming use, all right, and that's what the pre-existing non-conforming use is, then like we just can't say you can do whatever the hell you want if it's a business like that. Like, that's what he's hanging his hat on.
So when you talk about, how would you define the business and the scope of it?
So I don't think it's necessarily a certain business thing, but I just think it's what you're doing on the, so if you're a plumber and like, he's a contract supervisor, general contractor, he was storing his equipment in that garage,
Yeah.
having people park there or
It'd be
whatever.
the same thing.
Right, if you were an electrician or a plumber or whatever,
You're
that's
just
not
you're saying basically you can't just open up a storefront and
right,
start
like,
using
yeah,
it
if we
for
just
that.
say, yeah, you can use this, or like they're gonna start manufacturing materials inside that garage, that's a different use than what he was using it for.
Yeah.
So we can actually just extend the pre-existing,
No, we're not extending anything, this is an appeal.
I would say more of a drastic change to the use.
Right, so Mr. Meskis, the zoning enforcement officer, you reviewed the property, he made a determination that the current use of the property, after the new configuration violated the zoning bylaw. His position is that the garage is an accessory, not a primary, principal use, and therefore, when the lot was subdivided, that use, that grandfathered use ceased to exist.
Yeah.
That it's terminated upon conveyance and the subdivision of the lots. This is your position?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so,
And I can see
Mr.
that.
Burlingame's position is that that garage is not an accessory use, that in fact, it's a principal use on its own, and therefore, when the lot was subdivided, that grandfathered use that he had back from before zoning, when he started storing stuff there, still is in effect. And we have to determine whether or not that we're gonna consider it a principal use or an accessory use. If it's a principal use, then we have to say, then we should be making the determination of what that use actually was, which I think is in
Yeah,
the letter
it's
from
written down.
1998 from Gothier of what he was doing on the property, and I think that would be our determination. That's my opinion. And we can certainly, all of us as a board can vote otherwise if we wanted to, if we have information on that. If we determine that it is an accessory use, and we uphold the zoning enforcement officer's determination, then we could do that, and then that pre-existing non-conforming use can terminate, and then we would have to discuss on whether or not we could say if the accessory use, if it was an accessory use and it terminates, then it becomes a principal use, but because it now was an accessory use and becomes a principal use, then it has to comply with the zoning bylaw as it is now, not as it was in
Not as it
1999
was.
or prior to zoning.
And then for that to happen in that
So then when it's-
area, there'd have to be a house. There'd have to be a
No,
residence.
no, you don't have to put a residence there, it's still a garage, he just can't use it for the stuff he was using it for.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You asked me about what I gave Gothier, I actually have it.
Do we really?
Yes,
You keep some good records.
thank you.
Yeah, I can't find a receipt from Home Depot from
Yeah.
like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, because I have just some of the stuff, I wrote a letter in closing, but I showed from Howard Oliver, where I bought his backhoe, the year, the model. I showed my license, my construction supervisor's license, it's dated 6/30/85. A check to them for my license, different stuff like that, you know? So, and I don't know what the letter says, but I am enclosing copies of different types of proper documentation to prove use as a pre-existing before 1987. I am enclosing copies of different following types of documentation to prove it was pre-1987, the following documents, heavy equipment, notarized by Francis Fennessy, licensed construction supervisor's license.
Can we put that in our file?
No, I didn't put it in there because I
No,
don't think.
can I have my,
Yes,
could
we
we,
should make a copy.
can we have a copy for our file for it?
And then,
I've got documentation signed by people that I worked for at the time.
Yeah, if we can make a copy of it, that would be great.
All right, hang on.
You don't mind, do you, Mr. Burlingame?
No,
All right.
So there's an interesting line in this letter from the 1999, January 20th letter from the Gothier
Yeah,
to Mr. Burlingame.
well, that's some of the other stuff.
It says, also you cannot exceed 50% of the land area occupied by the principal structure at the time such use becomes non-conforming. So that seems to imply that he did consider it a principal structure.
he considered the garage a principal structure?
It's not really clear, but it's,
Yeah, and that's, so, I went back, this is the zoning bylaw that was in effect back in March of 1998.
That's great.
So I actually went back and looked at it, and one of the things that I was kind of considering did the bylaw at that time, did it actually define a separate accessory or principal use? And under 2.1 of it does have accessory building uses. So the original bylaw back at that time when the letter was written, it does differentiate between principal uses and accessory uses. I think the question like I have is, does the bylaw allow multiple principal uses? Can we make that determination?
I don't see
see why not. I think it should be that way to begin with. Like, you can't say, oh, this piece of property, oh, since you have a house on it, that's your principal use. In my eyes, I don't think that should be that
So
way.
do we have, is it in the town, do we have structures or uses that are multiple uses? Do we have like,
Well, would a storage building be a principal use?
yeah,
Yeah.
Arizona can be. If you look
I
at-
honestly think separating the lot up in itself does not change anything in this matter.
No, I agree
Do you
with that.
want this here, or do you want me to give it?
You give her a copy of that. As long as it's, they're both principal
Thank you.
uses, it does not change anything at all.
Yeah.
If the garage is if we think the garage is an accessory to the principal use, then it does terminate that use.
When it gets
I don't think
subdivided.
that garage was an accessory use to the house. You know what I mean? I think
And there's a
that's the-
strong argument to make that case.
Well, it sounds like the house was kind of used also as a quasi-office, which if it was, would then, the garage is kind of an accessory.
I really did all my work out of my truck, I'm a contractor.
Yeah,
I
that's what he said
heard
the
you
first-
say you were a
first meeting.
contractor.
Yeah,
I don't know about you,
That's
but
where it
I
happens.
really don't have an office, and I really don't want one.
yeah.
Well, unless you wanna call my truck the office,
Isn't that
and
what
he's got a
Ford
pocket
changed,
truck
like
there.
the shifter that you could put it down?
Somebody
Oh, yeah,
always
it
lives
goes up
there.
and it,
Yeah, yeah,
Let's
yeah.
not start talking about Ford and them watching you in the cameras inside the cab now.
Yeah.
That's bad.
So, yeah, so I mean, this is what we have to make the decision, and then, once we make that decision, take the next step. So, I mean, we look at the property, does the property have separate driveways?
yeah.
What indications that would we have that would support that it's a separate use? And what indications do we have to support that's in an accessory use?
So does it have its own electrical?
Yes,
So it's got its own meter?
and it's got its
So-
own driveway, and actually, I can find it, I got it there. Do you remember Bombard, when he was highway superintendent? He gave me the permit for the driveway, I got it somewhere, I could find it.
The driveway, are they still connected, the driveways?
No,
The driveways aren't connected? Were they connected at one point?
no, there was a walkway, so I could walk up and back and too, so I wouldn't have to wreck the lawn. Because you couldn't take triaxles, there's no way, and Kurt knows I've got walls on each side, you could never drive through there if you wanted to.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? I mean, let's look at Kurt's letter again.
I mean, I got a couple thoughts.
Yeah,
First off, if it stays as storage, I don't think I mind that.
yeah,
However, we, as a town, have retained a professional expert in Kurt, who I feel like has wisdom that we should pay attention to as well.
I agree with that.
So those are kind of my main two things. You know, I don't wanna see it turn into like a automotive, customer-facing automotive shop or something.
So let me ask you this, so
Yeah.
you got a piece of property, you got a building on it.
Yeah.
You cut a piece of that land off. Do you think that changes your use of that building or that house that's on the property?
I think it depends.
Yeah.
I don't think,
I mean,
even if we,
you got 200 acres of land, right? You have two different buildings on it, hey, I wanna cut off this corner of it. Do you think that changes the use of the property?
Well,
If you cut the corner off, it's
I,
a
I
vacant
think
lot.
because someone redefines the lines of the property, it's not gonna change the uses of it. Or should change anything that was pre-existing.
For me, I think it's just that everything that was grandfathered in was grandfathered into 184. So that was the whole property. And then as soon as you split it, now, whenever that happens, we're supposed to be promoting conformity to the building code. And that's for good reason. And so now it's a matter of reviewing it, and that's what this whole process is here. And I'm not saying no to it, I'm just saying that this is the process, and I think that
Yeah,
Kurt did, I think
exactly.
everybody did exactly what was right. You asked Kurt went and reviewed the zoning bylaws, and once he reviewed it, he expressed his opinion.
Yes,
I
exactly. His
thought,
opinion.
I thought at the last meeting
Yeah,
that
that's what the
your
whole
chairman
amendment
said that
Exactly.
if it was a legit lot, the fact that I sold the house didn't matter. That was decided last meeting, so now you're kind of changing it, so I'm
Yeah.
not quite sure.
Yeah, we already, we kinda,
Kinda already, I mean, you could look at the tape, but that's what he
Well,
didn't say.
there's no issue with you selling the house.
Right,
All right, it's just
Right.
whether or not, what you can use the garage for, that's
Right.
the only issue here.
right, I
Okay,
agree,
there's no issue
but he's
with that
saying
at all.
something different, that's
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
so like you were saying, if you limit it to that scope in that building,
Yeah,
and keep it the way it is, it's almost like nothing changes,
but that's if we make that decision.
Yeah.
Right.
My point exactly, yes.
Mr. Meskis?
So I think, and this is the reason that we have a zoning board of appeals. I have an opinion, Mr. Burlingame has a right
Yep.
to appeal that opinion, and I think, the board is discussing the right question. The right question is if it is determined to be a separate and principal use, and that use was commenced before 1987, and it's been continuous, and the board finds that, that's fine. It's in the record, the board did its adjudicatory purpose, and then when a new neighbor, which I deal with all the time, and Nelson having, been in my profession, or in the same profession I am, new neighbor comes along and says they're doing something wrong, it was aired before a public body that made a decision. Right, so I have no qualms with the board deciding that it was a principal use, it happened to be two principal uses on one property, and it is a continuation of a pre-existing nonconformity, and that can continue unless it's found to be abandoned, and that if an increase in intensity came along, then that would be subject to adjudication at that time.
If there's a change in, if there's an additional nonconformity, then that would need further adjudication. If
Right.
we decide that
Right.
it is
I
in
mean,
fact.
So someone could come and say, well, it is we determined, say you go down this path, we determined it's a continuation of a pre-existing nonconformity,
Yeah,
and it can continue in what we can call like kind,
yeah,
right? Like intensity, like services, no difference, like you said, between a plumber, a contractor, electrician. I mean, they're all tradespeople,
yeah.
okay? But if somebody wanted to operate a truck transfer facility out of there, that would be a different use.
Or they
And-
start
and-
repairing cars out of there, or
Yeah.
storing gravel or something like that, that's a different use, even if it's
Well-
principal.
I mean, I would say repairing cars
It's a different
is
use.
repairing cars than having customers come in and out of a shop.
It's a
That's
different,
totally different.
according to our
yeah.
bylaw, it's a different use,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, totally.
yeah.
Okay, so that's,
So so, as far as the board is concerned, so Kurt was looking at principal uses. When he made his determination, it was determined under 200-3.2. You guys have his copy of the bylaw?
Yeah.
You guys got a subsection 8C, accessory buildings such as a garage, playhouse, greenhouse, tool shed, and private swimming pool. So, if that's the case, do we consider any of these things part of that? That's what his determination is. It's on page 226.
Numbers.
No, 3.2. Keep going. Keep going.
Shouldn't have a different.
Recreational use.
8. Accessory uses right here. That's it.
Right, but this is the current bylaw, it's not the bylaw at the time.
Right, but Kurt's saying that because it's an accessory use, that the use terminated, and it's subject to the bylaw now, not the use when he started doing this was prior to even the zoning was enacted. So anything that was before 1987, when the town exacted the zoning bylaw, is considered pre-existing non-conforming, and as long as it continues, then they can continue to do that, and that's what,
I think with the letter that we have from the previous decision and
Yeah,
what we have.
but he
now.
doesn't really differentiate whether what the use is. He just says that it was prior to 1987 and you're good to go.
Well, I think the letter
Besides
does imply
the-
it's principal use, though.
You think it
The
does?
sentence he wrote.
What do you guys think? Margaret, what do you think?
Can I see the section of the bylaw?
What?
And let's make sure I'm looking at the same one here.
No.
Yeah,
It's not-
so that was my
did you read it? It's not
226,
specific,
so I
but-
must have
No,
a different.
no, no.
Sentence there.
I don't know what's
Kind
going
of
on.
implies it.
This is the law.
Yeah, all right, so
If
that's
talk
why
about
I
the subject
was,
matter of this garage.
This is the bylaw as it is right
Where
now.
else would he mention the principal use?
so, accessory. Yeah. There's a bunch of changes last night, too. In the town meeting.
Oh, that's the wrong page, is it?
No, accessory building right there.
Oh, accessory building.
Yeah,
Make sure
Such
it's the
as-
correct version.
private garage, playhouse, greenhouse.
We only have like
shed,
6 versions up here right now.
I,
There's only two
Right,
copies.
does that kind of imply that?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
that's what I get.
That's the other.
I don't think that fits in your.
No, I think it.
You don't think it fits under what's going on with the property?
I think that the building has its own primary use.
Okay.
I stand on that side of it,
Yeah,
and it was pre-existing, the use of it's pre-existing.
I think it has to be primary now, it's the only thing on that lot.
Well, the
Well, it's
question is, was
primary,
it primary
it wasn't,
before?
it's whether it was primary before.
Hmm.
If it was primary before, then it stays primary, and there's no problem.
And that's
If
where
it was
the language.
accessory before, it's primary now, and then there's a problem.
And that's where the language about the cannot exceed 50%.
Yeah, so,
Ah,
do you see,
yeah.
Right, which is under,
about the highlighted section?
in that
Yeah.
section, right, because they changed, they rewrote, they didn't rewrite the bylaw, but they renumbered the bylaw a couple of years ago. So that would fall under 200-3.4, non-conforming conditions. Structures, which, it'd be subsection C on that one as well. Any lawful existing use of a structure or land which does not conform to the provisions of this bylaw may continue. Any change or substantial extension shall be governed by the following. And that's why I think he might, and that was
50%
considered
of the land.
3.42 at the
Yeah.
time that the bylaw, that letter was written. So it's not the same exact bylaw, but it is from the same thing.
Okay.
So, and that says, any extension shall be governed by B3, any non-conformance in structure which has been abandoned for 2 years. So if you are gonna make the determination that it is a principal use, and we have to make determination also that it hasn't been abandoned, I think.
Right, so there was, yeah, because if it's abandoned, then it resets.
Are you still storing stuff there?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have people coming and going like you did right now, though?
Correct.
Okay.
Because I talked to Kurt, he said he wasn't gonna find me nothing, but that it was okay to store the stuff there, so. There's equipment there.
Okay. So, yeah, I think that's enough to really indicate that it was considered a primary.
You think that letter is enough? Is that what you wanna? Like, you guys can make your own decision.
Yeah, no, I think that, yeah,
I mean, we're not time travelers, we gotta kind of figure out what.
Right.
Exactly,
What
Kurt
they're
doesn't,
thinking.
Kurt's not a time traveler either, so he sees what he sees, and that's, because he makes the determination.
Thank you for having very detailed documentation. It makes all the difference in this case.
And the fact that if we make a determination one way or another on this appeal, does not necessarily mean that if another appeal comes our way
Right.
with, that it violates a use, that we would necessarily make that determination on things. And this certainly does not like set a precedence and anything. This is unique to this one application here, and that's it. So each petition or appeal is, its own, stands on its own.
All right.
So what do you guys think? Do you think, Rob, do you think it's a principal use?
I think it's principal use.
What do you think, Jason?
I think
If you think it's an accessory use,
Previous-
it's fine, yeah.
I mean, I think the previous zoning enforcement officer says it's prime principal use.
Okay. Margaret, what do you think?
Yeah, I still stand on the side of it as a primary use prior.
Yeah, what do you think, what is your opinion?
Yeah, now that that's been brought to light, I do agree that, it would be considered a principal use, and that was what was pre-existing non-conforming when,
So now the next question is that, has it been abandoned? So, we've just heard testimony from the petitioner, the appellant, or appellee, I don't know, whatever it is. Mr. Burlingame. That as the 1990 letter stated, that he was using it for storage of equipment, for people, to meet, to store vehicles, and he had employees
Mhm.
meeting here in the morning before they went over to job site. So he is still doing those things on that property pursuant to his testimony
Yeah.
just a few moments ago. So I would be satisfied that it's not considered abandoned under 200-3.4 C something, C4.
yeah, and I would
Yeah.
agree, I would agree.
Yeah. So, and then, you know, like I said to you earlier, my position is that according to the letter from 1998, that was the use that was going on the property in terms of that garage. So, my position is that if we were to make the determination that it is a principal use, that the uses are from that letter, that's what the current use is, and then any change in that or expansion of what's in that letter would be considered a violation of the bylaw, and whoever violated it, you know, Mr. Burlingame or another owner, if they did that, then they would either have to become in compliance with the bylaw or, you know, stop the use. Do you have an opinion on that, Rob?
I agree with you on that. If we keep it in the same scope, we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And then, like you're saying, if something comes in the future, they come before the board or deal with the zoning enforcement officer at the time.
I will say, I am not in a butter to this property by any means, but I do live in the general neighborhood, and there are a couple of other buildings such as this that are in that neighborhood that are like that, you know, people have kind of a big garage and storing backhoes and things like that on there.
Yeah, I drove by it the other day, and this actually looks nicer than a lot of those do.
Thank you.
All right, so how do we frame that?
All right, so now we get the fun part of this part.
Yeah.
So, this is an appeal. So this is in order, so this is an affirmative vote to, so if you guys all consider this as a principal use, then essentially what we're doing is that we're overturning the zoning enforcement officer's determination that the property violates the Charlton Zoning Board of Appeals, and that it is a pre-existing non-conforming use. We can make that determination. So essentially, the vote is to overturn the zoning enforcement officer's determination and granted the appeal or whatever, I think, is what we would do. So there's a couple of things that we need to do first on this, is that this happened a number of years ago on the board, is one of the things that we have to determine, that we have to state as part of making any kind of vote, whether we're gonna uphold or overturn the zoning enforcement officer's determination, is we would need to state a finding of fact. And so, a number of years ago, we had a previous appeal, and we came up with a whole bunch of findings of fact that we agreed on and voted on, and then we made the vote of what we would do, and it turned out that the vote failed. So all the findings of fact supported overturning an appeal, I think, and then the appeal stood, and so all the findings of fact were wrong on the determination. So what we need to do here is, according to our zoning board of appeals bylaw rules, section 14, we need to make a vote to waive the finding and decisions under 8.3 until after we have the vote.
So we do that before we make a motion?
Yes, so what we would do is we would have to waive the rule that we need the findings of fact before we make the actual vote for determination, and waive the rule to do our findings of fact after we vote yea or nay on what we do. That's what we have to do.
Okay.
First, you have to close the public hearing.
Yeah, we'll have to do that first. We have to make all the calls, yeah.
Okay.
And then once we do that, we can vote yea or nay, and then we have to determine all the facts in this case. So when the decision is printed out, it will have a findings of fact, and then our vote and the findings of fact should support what our vote is, not just the findings of fact that don't support our vote in any way. We did that once, it didn't come out good.
Well, thank you for going through that one.
That was before you were on the board too, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it
I
was.
think we've had a couple of those.
Yeah.
we've had to deal with.
So, first, we should call, we've already heard, do we have any more testimony from the zoning enforcement officer?
No, thank you.
Mr. Burlingame, do you have any other information you want to add? Are there any abutters, persons of interest that want to make a statement, have anything to say? All right, so we'll just do the normal, anybody from conservation, town accountant, planning board, we've heard from building department, town clerk, selectmen, assessors, collector's office, board of health, economic development, police, fire, senior center, anybody from the granary, the library, anyone, all right, nobody has,
Make a motion to close the public portion of this meeting.
so we're gonna make a motion there's a motion to close the open public portion of the meeting, is there a second on that
Second.
motion? There's a second by Jason, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I don't think we have a lot more to discuss on this. I mean, if you want to craft, someone wants to come up with a motion. First, someone has to make a motion on Article 14 of our zoning rules to waive or suspend the findings of fact prior to us making a determination.
I'll make a motion, according to Article 14, to waive the findings of fact until after we make a determination.
Is there a
Second.
second? Second by Rob. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. So if we were gonna right now, the motion would probably be along the lines of,
I think the motion would be that the determination of the zoning enforcement officer is incorrect, if that's where you're gonna go. And that this is a
so we
principal
could make a
use.
motion to overturn the determination by the zoning enforcement officer. Yeah, we could do that,
Is
yeah.
a principal use.
yeah. And then with the findings of fact,
That
we would,
would,
yeah,
would show that
yeah.
it was determined a principal use prior to this. And we enumerate the address and all that other crap that we always put in, I'm sorry, on live TV. And,
Pre-existing.
yeah, it's a continuation of a pre-existing non-conformity.
So the motion would be to overturn the zoning enforcement officer's determination that, from letter dated March 12th and is someone gonna write this down?
I'm writing it down.
March 12th, 2026, that, that the use of the use as stated of the two-story building with the shed, is to overturn that it's an accessory use, located in the A or R60 zone. We would be overturning that, and then the determination that is that we consider the use of pre-existing non-conforming pursuant to a determination by a letter from a zoning enforcement officer,
Robert Gothier.
Robert Gothier, dated January
20th.
1999, that the use predates zoning and is considered pre-existing non-conforming, that the use has been continuous since that determination and has not been abandoned, and further stating that pursuant to a letter from the zoning enforcement officer dated December, the one before that? Yeah,
It was
wasn't
December 29th, 98.
January 20th.
no, there's the one before that, is January 20th,
No,
December 20th,
December 29th,
1998.
1998, that the use is for storage of
Equipment
equipment and,
and vehicles.
yeah, and parking of vehicles, who then use the work vehicles to go to a work site. You know the language better than I do on that.
Yeah.
That would be the pre-existing non-conforming use. So the
Right.
storage of the equipment and then just parking of vehicles,
Right. For, yeah.
for,
Didn't it say employees meeting, you know, something to
Yeah.
that effect?
employees meeting there.
Was that, and your employees report to this location?
Yeah, employees
Leaving
reporting to
their
a location,
vehicles and
leaving-
then operating vehicles to work site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be, that would be the pre-existing non-conforming use.
Right,
That's the extent of it.
to tongue twister. All right.
It's an appeal.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm gonna make a motion. I'm gonna make a motion to overturn the zoning enforcement's determination, and grant an appeal. And so, making a motion that, it was not, to overturn, it was not the second-story building with shed, so we're overturning the accessory use.
Yep,
And we consider it a principal, per the letter dated December 29th, 1998.
January.
Oh,
January 20th.
January 20th, 1999,
1999.
yes,
We
by,
would consider it a principal use,
consider it a principal use
and it's pre-existing non-conforming,
from the letter
from the letter dated.
dated December 29th, 1998.
And that use being,
For storage of equipment on the property, employees reporting to the location, leaving the vehicles, and then operating vehicles to work sites. It has not been abandoned, it's been in continuous use.
okay,
Second.
there's a second, okay, in order to overturn the zoning enforcement officer's thing, we need a 4/5 vote. So, 4 out of 5 of us would need to vote that it's that motion. So, you ready, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, unanimous. The zoning enforcement officer's determination is overturned. Now we just need to put the findings of fact in, which I kinda wrote some down, so.
Okay.
We just I'll state them, and then we can make a motion to accept them as the findings of fact.
Okay.
So, so findings of fact, Nelson and Joanne Burlingame owned, how many acres originally? Was it 8 acres? 7 point something acres?
7 point something, 7 plus.
I think it was like
7.7.
7.7 plus or minus
Yeah.
acres. of land by deed recorded at Worcester County Registry of Deeds, Book 8675, page 65. Burlingame constructed a 40 by 60 garage and shed prior to the enactment of zoning with a single-family structure also on the property, both considered principal uses. Mr. Burlingame operated his business, which was storage of equipment and meeting of employees to go to other job sites on the property as the use for the garage. On 8/18/25, Mr. Burlingame caused an A&R plan to be recorded at the Worcester County Registry of Deeds, Plan Book 985, page 64, dividing the property into 3 lots. The plan separated the garage and single-family structure into 2 separate lots. On September 2025, Mr. Burlingame conveyed the lot containing the single-family structure to a third party for consideration. And I think that's all the facts that I have. I think that's sufficient. So,
Make a motion to accept the finding of facts as stated?
Second.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'll give you this sheet. Yeah, you may not be able to read my writing, but, so I think that's it. Thanks for coming, Mr. Burlingame.
Thank you.
So this is out of date for me.
Why is that out of date?
Well, I don't, my page isn't the same as your pages.
I don't think it makes any difference, as long as the wording is the same.
Okay. But we do have an update from what was voted at the town meeting last night.
No, they won't update that for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah, that won't be updated for a while. We have another petition before us tonight.
We do.
Andrew Poirier, 2 number 10 Schoolhouse.
Rear setback.
What?
It's a rear setback issue for a garage?
Mr. Poirier, could you, well, can you state your name for the record?
Andrew Poirier?
Okay, you're the owner of the property.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us what you're looking to do and why this board should grant you relief from whatever you're proposing to do?
To put a carport for yard storage, miscellaneous stuff storage. I have a rough grade on my property where I really just don't have access to back up to a shed like that. I really have one spot on my property as far as, my septic system and everything else. Sharp grades on the corner. It's
So are you putting up a garage, or what are you putting
so
in?
it's a small carport. It's a 12 by 24 carport.
Yeah,
It's a shelter logic type of carport, barn board sides, nice curb appeal.
is it on a foundation, you're gonna,
Not at all.
it's gonna be
sitting-
ground?
Sitting on blocks.
That's
It's
all
not
it's
anchored
gonna
to
be
the
sitting-
ground by any means.
Yeah,
Yep.
you
Just,
need tornado things.
it's basically held by weight down, barn boards on the sides, metal roof.
Okay, so,
Doesn't interfere with the corner of the road by any means. There's no,
so this is, it would be along Major Hill Road, it would be on that, how many feet from the road are you asking?
So I
What's the
believe-
setback and how many feet? you
yeah,
ask?
so I believe I measured out, I think it was 25 feet from the road.
Yeah,
So it's a matter of 5 feet. I
you're
wasn't
asking for
aware
5
of-
feet?
Yeah, I wasn't aware of the 30-foot.
Is it already there?
It is, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
The rest of the lot, behind the house,
Mhm.
that's, is that sloped? What is the area? How
It
far, how
is.
deep, what kind of slope are you looking at?
So where the carport is I have one flat surface where there was an existing shed.
Yeah.
I kind of extended a little bit of stonework.
Yeah,
3/4 inch stone.
Yeah.
Just to get a flat spot. I
Okay.
can back up to that spot with my truck, lawnmower, trailers, you name it. Besides that spot, it dives off probably a good 10 feet, 12 feet.
So from your neighbor on 10 Schoolhouse Road, from where you're up the back of your house, like if the front of the house is the driveway, is that, and then the back, which faces your neighbor, what's the drop off between the back of your house to the property line, you think?
So from the shed to Major Hill Roads, probably about 10 feet drop off.
No, but how about the rest of the lot? From the back of your house to your neighbor's house, is there another drop off? What does that all look like?
To the back of my house from my driveway,
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
you have, your driveway comes in from almost the corner,
correct.
right to the house,
Yep,
right? And then
Two-car
behind the house, the back of your house is facing your neighbor's lot, right?
Yep. The-
Is there a slope there? Does that go
the
down?
grade raises up, yes.
How much of a,
I don't know, I'd say about 5 to 10 feet from my house.
there's
to
no
my
flat
neighbor.
surface in any of that area at all?
The whole property has no flat surface.
Okay.
Yeah,
It drops down into wetlands, right?
it does, correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that you need to show us to obtain a variance
Mhm.
is that you need to show some type of hardship, that there's no other place that you could potentially put this carport that it would be a hardship to you. So
That's correct, sir.
shape of the lot, the slope of the lot, where your septic system is, things like that would create a hardship for you that you can't really put it someplace else.
I
Is
heard
that-
him state all those.
What?
I heard him state all those.
I did too.
Location of septic,
Yep.
well, wetlands,
It's a tough property.
Property.
topography.
Yeah.
See, all that
I mean, it's a
stuff.
weird shaped lot,
Even in the
too.
plan, you can see the wetlands right behind the house.
Oh, yeah.
So it has to, I think there's a
So
stream.
do you wanna
right-
call the zoning enforcement officer? So you're asking forgiveness.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Meskis?
Hi,
If this-
Kurt Meskis, Building Commissioner, Zoning Enforcement Officer, if I may. The usual handouts. And we have a user board.
Nice.
So,
You got
while
one?
traveling about on inspections, I
Already shared.
noticed that a shed was
Carol,
being
gonna share.
constructed on this property, and it was being constructed without a permit. When I approached Mr. Poirier for, that he needed a permit and that we needed to determine where the shed was, for zoning compliance, it became apparent that he was unaware that on a corner lot, and this is a triangular corner lot,
Yeah.
that there are two fronts. So it's 30-foot setback from each street line.
Yeah.
So, the picture, the locus picture of the property, picture of the shed under construction, or completed on page 2. The neighbor across the street on Hill Road, the neighbor across the street on 10 Schoolhouse Road. As Mr. Poirier indicates, the lot does slope off to Hill Road, slopes off to the back, there's wetlands all over the place, and it's just one of these, we didn't quite have enough space to do it. And Mr. Poirier provided an A&R plan that showed the location of the house, and he indicated the approximate location of the existing shed, and I colored in the new shed. The setback required is 30 feet, and he's showing it approximately 25 feet from the property line. So the relief would be a 5-foot variance. And I don't see your reason to deny it.
Yeah.
Corner lots are tough.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that he definitely has a hardship there. I don't think there's any issues. So we'll just call all the other, all right, any abutters, persons of interest have anything to say? We'll go through the roll. Conservation, planning, we already heard from the building department, zoning enforcement, clerk's office, selectmen, assessors, collectors, board of health, economic development, senior center, police, fire, school committee, Bay Path Regional Vocational Technical High School. Anybody, no one has anything to say? Do I hear a Motion to close the open portion of the hearing.
Motion to close the open portion?
The motion by Jason, is there a second on that?
Second.
Garrett and Rob both second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So I wanna make a motion to grant a variance, plus or minus 5 feet for a carport, the hardship being the shape of the lot, the slope of the lot, the location of wetlands. And the variance shall be for plus or minus 5 feet as, on the carport as it now stands.
I make a motion to grant a variance, for 210 Schoolhouse Road, granting 5 feet of relief for the already constructed carport as it stands, shown on the provided, drawing, the hardships being the topography of the property, and the shape of the lot being a corner lot, and available locations to construct the carport.
Is there a second on that motion?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. So there's a 20-day appeal period. So the 20 days starts once the board files with the clerk's office.
Yep.
And once the 20 days is up, then you need to take that variance, you need to record the whole variance at the Worcester County Registry of Deeds.
Okay.
Okay, it's in Worcester. I was gonna tell you Boston, but. I don't know why I was thinking Boston. And that's it, you're all set.
Okay,
Have a good night.
thank you, guys.
Okay. All right, so next on the agenda, we're gonna review and approve the minutes from the last meeting. Were we all here for the last meeting?
Yes.
All right. Does there anyone have any comments on the meeting? Want to make a motion on this?
Motion to approve the minutes?
There's a motion to approve the minutes as printed. Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Minutes are approved. We have two recommendations. Where are they? You had those, didn't you?
They're under here, yeah.
Got new blood?
The first,
Thank you.
And then the second person is Ryan Black. You wanna come up?
sure,
You are,
I'm Johnny Stanley,
oh, nice to meet you all, Johnny.
thank you.
So we have to make a vote to recommend, so we're gonna make a vote.
So if you have any questions that you want to ask her or see why she's interested in joining zoning, you can. And then, yes, if you choose to make a recommendation for the selectmen to appoint her as a member.
Cool. Were you on a zoning board before?
I was not
Oh,
on
okay.
the zoning board.
That's not a problem, that's a good thing,
Good.
yeah.
Well, it looks like you guys have a lot of fun, and you have a lot of interesting things that come before you, but it seems like you guys work really well together.
So a couple of things that we try to do as a board is, number one, is that limit it to zoning only, okay? We'll find that people come before, and I'm sure they come before other boards as
Sure.
well, to bring up topics that aren't necessarily related to zoning. So we do our best to try to limit that to discussions about zoning. People bring up conservation issues and Board of Health and all these other things, which has unfortunately nothing to do with zoning. So we try to limit to that. The other thing that we attempt to do as well is that, when it comes to the discussion, none of us, if we have a difference of opinion on something, that is absolutely fine, and none of us should take that personally in any way at all. All right, we're all volunteers, we're all here to help the town. None of us should have personal grudges on, any of our decisions. So there's been times where one of us will vote differently than the other, and sometimes stuff goes through or doesn't go through. And we as a board attempt to not hold that against each other in any way at all. We're all volunteers, and that's the way. There's something else I was thinking about too, and I can't remember what it is. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I don't remember us voting
We've had it.
differently in like years.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of times, you know,
I don't think since
Yeah.
Bob.
Since Paul.
Heard a lot
we've
about
had some
Bob.
different people on the board over the years, yeah. So.
Plenty of characters a year.
Yeah, and so right now, we only meet as needed. It used to be, that it was like every second Tuesday of the month, but after, 2008, it came pretty down to, it was only as needed, just, you know, the way the buildings were going or whatever. Right now, we are meeting on a monthly basis almost regularly, that we could meet more. If we have a petition that, that needs multiple meetings, then we'll just schedule those as needed. Typically, everything's on a Tuesday night
Sure.
at 7 o'clock here. That's about it. I don't think there's, you know, we're not changing the world. You know, we're not political in any way in this. This is, you know, it's about the zoning and that's it. And we all have different backgrounds, we all have different and views on things, and anybody's opinion is valid. We've had guys have some pretty crazy opinions at times that aren't on the board anymore, and it's absolutely a lot fine. I mean,
Makes it
it's,
fun.
and sometimes you're not thinking about something, you know, you might look at something in a different way, and if you might have a different opinion about it, and you might change someone's opinion, you know, if they're not looking at it in a way, so, that's about it. Did you have any questions for the board?
Not at all. I, you know, read about you guys online, went through some of your documents as well, and
Yeah.
so, no questions at this time unless someone has a question for me.
How long you lived in Charlton?
Just over a year, so I moved here in the middle of winter, which was a crazy
This
and
was a rough
exciting
winter.
time. Exactly.
That's not the house that used to have the in-ground pool, is it?
No, we're actually the old horse farm.
Okay.
Um,
You know what house I'm talking about, right? I think it had a fire in it.
What, I don't know what the address is.
I don't know the number. I know it's on Freeman Road, that's all I know.
79?
Yeah, I don't think that was it.
Oh,
no,
There was a house on Freeman Road that had an indoor pool, and I think it caught fire.
How does a pool catch fire? Never mind.
No, the house got fire, not the pool.
Never mind, I don't know.
yes.
about 139 down on the
Oh,
right.
that's fine,
Okay.
that's not
Very
fine.
interesting house.
Yeah,
Okay.
I looked at that, believe it or not. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so, have you made arrangements with the selectmen, in order to be appointed? You wanna talk to the
No.
selectmen's office? You would do that?
No,
Oh, you do that.
I
Yeah.
that
Okay.
after you guys make the motion.
All right, so there's a motion to recommend, Aljani Stanley, to become a member of the zoning board. And we'll put the other guy on there too. Ryan Black, 2 people. Is there a motion to recommend them to the selectmen to be appointed to the zoning board of appeals?
I'll make a motion to recommend them to selectmen for appointment to the zoning board.
There's a motion to recommend Ryan Black and Aljani Stanley to the zoning board of appeals. Is there a second on the motion?
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So Dale will set up, you'll have to go to a selectmen's meeting,
sure.
and they officially, it's an appointed position, it's not an elected position. And I think the appointment's good for 5 years.
So you'll let me know?
So right now, you would be considered an alternate on the board, it's a 5-member board. A lot of times if there's,
Hunting.
yeah, sometimes he's going hunting, and then if there's more than 5 of us here, sometimes I won't vote as the chair, I'll let everyone else vote.
Okay,
And everyone, even if you're an alternate, everyone participates the same, there's no,
sure.
yeah. All right,
All right.
we'll see you next meeting.
Okay.
Welcome to Charlton.
Well, yeah,
Thank you. I'm enjoying it.
it's a little quieter.
It is, but I think that it's necessary.
Live behind the fire station.
You-
It's not quiet.
Huh?
I live behind the fire station. It's
I
not
go-
quiet.
I grew 10 miles north of Boston, and then I lived in Framingham, and then I came here, and it took me a month just to be able to sleep at night because it was so quiet.
Yeah.
You can come over anytime.
Yeah.
They're going every 15, 20 minutes, the engines are pulling out.
Uh,
Great. Well, nice meeting all
We'll
of
see you next month.
All right.
We have a meeting, what,
June 30th.
June 30th is our next meeting.
Ah, that's right, June
No
30th.
travel anytime soon.
I need to determine if I'm still doing this.
All
or
right.
not.
Nice to see you, we'll see you
What's
next,
that?
next
I
month.
need to determine if I'm still doing this or not.
Why?
Mary messaged me, and I have to decide if I'm still doing this or not.
Oh, you mean, because your appointment's up?
I guess so.
Yeah, if you, yeah,
Well, my appointment was up, but then I was made a full member because I was
yeah, because the other two members left.
an alternate,
Right, you
Yeah.
know, you guys aren't alternates
and
anymore.
then I moved up. But so does that not reset?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
So it's still 5 years. All you have to do is like, yeah, I'm gonna stay on, and then you don't do it.
So it's been 5 years.
Listen, it goes fast. I over,
Dude, no
I'm over
way.
10 years now.
You're way over 10 years.
Yeah, I have to be, right?
Yeah.
No, because what we had, maybe 11 or 12? Maybe 12.
I don't think it's 5 years.
I think it's 5 years.
It's supposed to be 5 years, isn't
It is 5 years.
Yeah.
In Mary's email, she asked if you want to be reappointed for another 5 years.
I know. I just can't believe that it's been 5.
I think it was less than 5 years that I renewed.
You know, the crazy thing is, they enacted the zoning bylaw in 1987 in the town of Charlton. I am only the third chair since 1987. That is a little crazy. So this other guy, Ray Merzadlon, great guy, he was the chair from when they enacted the zoning board of appeals in 1987 till like 2008 or 9 when he retired. And then this other guy, Brian, was the chair for like 1 year, and then they made me the chair, and I've been the chair since. No, it just, it does look crazy.
Do a good job.
Yeah, I don't know that. So the other discussion is next on the agenda is the rules. So these are the rules we're supposed to follow on for the zoning board of appeals. We need to just kind of go through some of these and delete some of this stuff. We probably should rewrite some of the rules. So if everyone has a copy of it, everyone's got a copy of it, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. So, first, Article 1, I don't think there's any issues on that at all. Location of the office, number of members and alternates, qualifying terms. So we don't have anything for causes for removal from the board, resignation, generally by us, we don't have anything on that at all. Vacation of office. Every year, we're supposed to vote, which we do, to elect a chairman, vice chairman.
Who's the vice?
He's the vice right now.
Am I?
Yeah, you're the vice chairman.
I don't recall voting.
Hey,
Yeah, I think he's the vice.
I remember that.
Yeah,
let's see, I've been the treasurer,
yeah.
got them all, I don't know, it's all right.
We
It's
keep
usually when you're
minutes.
not here, that's when
You can be the vice.
they
if
vote
want.
you in.
No problem.
No, all good.
I think Article 4 is fine. So when we get to,
Through the chair,
yeah,
can you please look at Article 3.2.1, the very last sentence of that?
You shall administer oath to all witnesses or arrange for such oath to be administered.
yeah, we need to get that. We
Would you
need-
like me to delete anything regarding an oath?
Yeah, we need to delete that.
Okay.
Strike it.
Why?
So this says that everyone that comes in front of us, we need to administer an oath to that's given any testimony.
Raise your right
Nobody
hand.
does that.
I was gonna say, you don't like that?
If I'm gonna do that, then I'm gonna put a black robe on.
Come
Listen,
on, won't pop in circumstance.
He's not looking for that much power.
I don't really want that much power.
Swear to God now that
Yeah.
you're telling the truth.
So, we would strike that from the thing. I thought that was further down.
What about the secretary of the board? 3.3.
Appointment of secretary. The secretary shall be appointed by the board and shall be an employee of the board. That's Dale,
Is she an employee of the board, though?
which is employee,
Yes.
yeah.
She gets paid.
Well, yeah, but I thought she was employee of
The town.
the town or
And she works for us.
the conservation or whatever.
Technically speaking, there's like a lot of, like,
I just reading, I was curious.
so,
You wanna fire her?
no, we can vote to
What?
give her a raise. Sweet, do that. No, I don't want my vote.
Stay on topic.
We've done that before.
So some other board positions that are in the town, and I don't think that we've really ever done this, is that they're hired by the board and then they're presented to the selectmen. The selectmen are the actual hiring authority, but they're like, we just recommended this person to the selectmen to be hired. So technically speaking, that's the way that it should go. We've never really done it that way. Believe it or not, Dale's only the third assistant that we've had in the history of the board as well.
Wow.
So what's the docket book?
It's a list of applications and when they were filed and when we made a decision. I have that.
So what do we wanna eliminate doing that totally?
No,
or
no,
what
we
do
wanna
what
keep
do
that.
We wanna keep that?
Yeah, we do
Yeah.
that.
So 3.3.21.
Yeah, we would keep that. And then Article 4, I don't think there's anything in that.
4.5, we adopted the Mullen Rule, which means that people can vote if they satisfy the Mullen Rule.
So we should amend that to
Yes.
reflect,
The Mullen Rule, yes.
is the Mullen Rule in our town bylaw? All right, so the language may be, say, no board member shall vote on any matter deciding an application or appeal except,
I can include the language if you'd like about the Mullen Rule and what it entails.
I mean, should that verbiage not just be totally like put in place of this?
no, because we don't, you either have to be
Present,
present
or follow the Mullen Rule.
in the event that a board member is not present,
You can review the tapes.
then
Yeah, the
they
same.
may vote on an application pursuant to whatever the bylaw that says the Mullen Rule.
Right. So just totally strike this?
No, I said leave that and just put an extra sentence on that. In the event a board member is not present at a meeting, they may continue to vote on an application pursuant to whatever the town bylaw is, the Mullen, because it's the town that accepts the Mullen Rule, not us.
That's when we watch the video, sign.
Right, and you have to
affidavit.
sign an affidavit that you did that.
I believe the board did choose to accept the Mullen Rule.
We voted to accept the Mullen Rule,
Yes.
but the town had to vote for it
Yes.
first.
I
all right.
believe so.
And so now we just need the language.
Yeah, but the bylaw is written in the town bylaw, it's not written in the zoning bylaw. Right, so there's a town bylaw that shows the procedures for the Mullen Rule.
Yes.
All right, so that's
I
what,
have the language for it.
Right, so it'd be
yeah. And when
pursuant-
it was approved.
yeah, so
Yeah,
that, we need to
gotcha.
add that in that,
I can do that.
yeah. The board have only powers delegated by the Commonwealth under Chapter 40A. We have powers over Chapter 40B though, too, don't we?
I am not sure.
I believe we do. Yes, we do, it's in another part. Article 6, comprehensive rules for Chapter 40B. So Article appeals and all right, so Article 5 only talks about appeals and applications. See, and this is the problem with this, is that it goes Article 5, part of his interest, appeal procedures under Article 5.4. And then what actions may be appealed, and then Article 7 is procedures at hearings.
So we're gonna strike 7.2.
7.2, right, 7.2 needs to get stricken,
The witness to testify.
yeah. Or 7.3, evidence should bounds, not limited consideration. So technically, I can say that we don't want, like, if they present something that I consider irrelevant, and you can overrule me on that, like, I don't think there's any time that I haven't accepted anything.
I mean, they were talking conservation.
Yeah. Well, we had, what was one that they were telling us that someone seen spilled chainsaw gasoline? on the-
Gasoline,
like,
you're just
yeah.
throwing it on the ground.
Yeah, okay. Chair board, no board member should debate or argue with a person in the audience. We don't do that anyways. So finding of facts, form and procedure to decisions. The motion shall be in the form of finding of facts and state the reasons for the finding of facts of the board. I think we should just add language in that that says that the finding of facts may be voted on or presented prior to or after
The motion.
a vote on the application or appeal by the board.
So then that way we won't have to make a vote on it beforehand.
Yeah. So the motion shall be in the form of finding of facts. So typically on a variance, when you make the motion for a variance, we say we're gonna grant the variance, and these are the reasons why in that motion.
In that motion, yeah.
In the more complicated ones like we just
Like
did.
today, yeah.
Right, we wanted a separate finding of facts, all right, so, which did not necessarily include, and in some of the big petitions that we've had over the years, so that we've had appeals to the board in the past where that there's multiple sides are represented by counsel, and, and we've had,
Jeez.
huge law firms from Boston, 3 or 4 attorneys coming in to do that, and.
Yeah, then we have the lawyers write up the
So
finding
in
of
those
facts.
cases, what sometimes we'll do is, we'll ask attorneys for each side to draft their own version of the finding of facts, and then we will take those finding of facts and approve.
Pile 'em.
Yeah, so like, one side might have 10, and the other side might have 10, and we might accept 3 from them, or 7 from them, or
Gotcha.
5 and 10, you know what I mean? Whatever facts that we want, we don't always draft in those, so those would accompany the motion, so in those instances, we wouldn't necessarily always, and like I said, is one time that we did that, we came up with a whole finding of facts and did the motion, and we found that the motion didn't support, the actual vote on the motion didn't support the finding of facts, and it was a disaster.
It's helpful if it's we use the finding of facts for the motion. It
Right.
helps us that way.
Right,
But when it doesn't get voted on the same way.
The same way,
it
'cause you don't
bites us
always
in the
know
butt.
which way someone's gonna vote,
Right.
So
I mean,
that
it's
way
not
we
like-
gotta form the motion ourselves, and
Yeah.
then we gotta add in the finding of facts
Right.
after the fact.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So we don't have to vote on it each time.
What about this by roll call vote?
We have the option for it, is it required?
It says required. Well, it implies it's required.
Well, we do that too sometimes, depending.
No, we
on-
don't always do
What
it.
section is that?
We've done it though in the past.
8.3.
We have done it in the
Yeah.
past, so, but we've never required it.
So we should change that wording.
Yeah, we should just be by vote, not require a roll call vote. I think the only time that we ended up doing a roll call vote really though was during COVID, because it was by Zoom.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
That's when we were
Yeah.
doing it.
And that way,
So I
have a nice evening,
so-
Mr.
If
Messi.
I see the cat, I'll put it out.
Okay, thanks.
So, if that's the case, do we just leave the wording in there so it fits both situations if we?
I think we should take
If
out
we ever
roll
get
call.
back to COVID again, let's not do that.
I think we
I'm
should
not
take
saying
out
it
the,
will,
but I think on the COVID thing, it was a state order that all votes needed to be roll call
Gotcha.
votes. So I don't think that was something that the
So we
town.
strike it, it's not gonna affect.
It's not gonna affect, if that ever came back again, God forbid, then,
God forbid.
then I think it was pursuant to whatever legislation by the state was to authorize, those Zoom meetings to require it. I think that's the way it worked.
And if we take out the wording roll call, we could still do a roll call.
Yeah, there's nothing that says we can't,
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
doesn't
that's-
confuse things.
yeah.
Someone says, oh, you did.
But
roll
usually
call.
like, unless, even if it's
It-
like 3-2.
Could it bite us in the future where it's, oh, you got this in your bylaw, but you didn't do a roll call vote and an appeal, and then.
Yeah,
you
well,
know,
that's
Gil
why I
and I were
think we should
talking about
take it
that
So we
earlier.
take it out, then we don't have that issue.
Right,
Take it out.
alright, let's delete that from, just the word roll call from 8.3.
I like those Zoom meetings, I got to put the, Golden Gate Bridge behind me.
A finding of fact,
So it's just gonna be
Tell-
first and seconded and then call a vote, so we're just getting rid of by roll call,
yeah, by roll call
yeah,
and a vote, just and vote, in a vote, yeah.
and vote, okay, there you go.
So in order to do the finding of facts, it should be something along the lines like, the finding of facts, the established finding of facts may be voted on in a separate vote and then incorporated into the decision of the board as part of the decision. I mean, do you think we need to put in there that it needs to be voted prior, can be voted prior to or subsequent to the decision by the board?
Or can we just word it like, the finding of facts can be formed after the vote?
Well-
I think if we just say, you
Usually
just say,
though, when we vote, like, we determine, like, when we make it a vote, like we did tonight,
Yeah,
like, we've already we've kind of come up with the finding of facts.
Yeah.
They just weren't formalized, essentially.
yeah.
And we were really voted on after the fact was to formalize those finding of facts to incorporate into our decision.
I don't think you need to say it has to be after, cause,
I would say
It could be
maybe
at any
part of
time.
or after.
yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, do you wanna put
certain-
formalized in there? Finding of facts may be formalized by a separate vote prior to or subsequent
prior or subsequent,
to the board's decision.
So it gives us the option to do it either way. if we want.
Right, so, I mean, if it's a clear thing and we're all like, okay, it's clear, you just don't wanna get that situation again, you
Yeah.
know?
CYA.
Article 9, notification of decisions. Notice of the board decision will be given the applicant and other interested parties who requested such notice. Town clerk. It says but within 10 days, it should be within, I don't know what, it's chapter what, pursuant to chapter 40A, section,
I can look into it specifically.
that should, the 10 days should be removed. It should just be according to whatever the statute says. And I think the statute says right now 14 days from our decision that Dale has to file with the town clerk. it doesn't make sense for us to make it more restrictive than what the statute is.
Yeah.
So just put according to chapter 40A,
Right.
section,
Yeah,
whatever
well,
section it
yeah,
is.
yeah, pursuant to whatever. That way, if the state ever changes it, then we don't have to change the bylaw.
Yeah.
So if the state says, well, we're gonna make it 7 days now, or 21 days, we just have it according to that, and that's it. We do that, Article 10.
And the same thing in the, it says within 14 days, that's basically what is in it already, 40, yeah.
Yeah, I think we should remove that.
Within 14 days for,
Yeah, but they've changed section 15 around since, I think, this was written. I think we should just failure the board and say, failure by the board to act.
So there's a chance that section 15, paragraph 5 is not
It might be different, I don't know off the top of my
different
head.
now?
Yeah. I think we should remove this section and just put failure of the board to act. If the board does not act pursuant to chapter 40, Mass General Law, chapter 40A, in the time period described under chapter 40A, then the grant,
So we just, basically, everything in pursuant parts read, and then after that,
yeah,
we strike it.
yeah,
Yeah.
section 15,
I think we
paragraph
should-
5.
Yeah, 'cause then it just references that, and then if it changes, we don't have to.
yeah, I don't know if it says that in section 15, all of this language is from, I think we should just put in there that if the board fails to act pursuant to chapter 48's section 15 at C, ET, SEQ, or as the law may be amended, then it,
Yeah, we don't wanna add our restrictions on it, keep it what
whatever the.
is already on
Yeah.
the law itself.
So instead of saying 100 days or extended time, just replace that with
Whatever, just say that whatever the statute says.
Pursuant to the statute.
Yeah,
pursuant to the statute.
right, whatever the statute
So what's
says.
that, half a sentence, basically?
Right, so if the legislature decides to change that around and says, you have a time frame of this or that, we've already complied with the rule, we don't have to change the rule again. Article 12, request to withdraw, amend, appeals, or application. I think we should probably Article 12 and Article 14, no, Article 12, we should probably try to come up with some language on that. And I don't know if the statute talks about request to withdraw or amend, but there are rules to withdraw or amend a petition. And so I think prior to the public hearing, there are certain rules to withdraw or amend a petition. Once the hearing is open, there are different rules that apply to an applicant requesting to withdraw or amend their application. And I think that if it's before the public hearing, that they can do that without board approval, but they cannot do that without a vote from the board once we've opened up the hearing. I'm pretty sure that's what the rule is.
I believe you're correct,
Yeah,
but I can look into
but
that.
I don't know where it comes from
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
I'll find all of
Which
that.
is what we normally do.
Where
Yeah,
it was suggested that they
yeah, and we'll, wait, you know, and that's,
appeal it.
that's something though, I think that's within our discretion if we wanna do that or not.
Right,
Um,
to save the person the
Basically
heartache
not
of
shutting the
not
door in
being
their
able to
face.
come
Right, 'cause
back
this
with a
thi-
new proposal with it.
Right, 2 years, cause if we vote and we deny, it's a 2-year wait,
Correct,
you have to wait 2 years to reapply.
right, now
For
the
that-
scenario.
right. Unless there's like it's a change of circumstances or something like that. But I think if that's the case, that they wanna try to reapply within the 2 years, I think they need to get approval from the planning board to come back to the zoning board to do that. There's some rule that they can do, and there's only a limited set of circumstances which they could do that. So they would need to get approval from the planning board first to reapply to the zoning board. I think that's the rule.
Yeah, denial.
And where do you think that lies?
I don't know, it never happened as far as I've been here.
But that verbiage exists somewhere.
It does, and I don't remember where it is, I remember reading it. Rules may be amended by the board of majority. Rules may be suspended or waived, which we're not changing. I have never read the zoning board manual by Frederick Bear Jr.
Sure, it's one at the
You
library.
did?
See, now, we did all those, and then when they did this, they created another Article 6 as an Exhibit A.
I'm
What?
sorry, what, you mean
What?
Article 7?
No, see, we went Article 9, there's Article 6, Comprehensive Permit Rules, all right? Which is Article 6, it's like 3 lines on our bylaw. And then when you get to the end of the rules, there's an Exhibit A with a new Article 6 on it.
What page are you looking at?
11, 13?
Probably
Yours is in a
rules shall-
different format.
Yeah, your printout's different from ours.
Only you get that.
I have, it goes to Article 15 with the Bear Jr., and then it jumps to another Article 7
Right,
for like 2-3 pages.
right, so we need to incorporate that, we're not doing any of these like extra art, I think what happened was is that whenever they did that, okay, this version, that's where they jumped to. So, yeah, so we have an Article 7 already,
Yeah, procedures in here.
Right, because this is defined as like special permits, but Article 7 that we already looked at says on the side that it's in reference to special permits
procedure, yeah,
and variances,
right,
What? Yeah, that is,
so it's redundant.
it's redundant. Well, I don't know, it could be different stuff.
so you're saying that instead of changing the language in the original article, they just sort of overwrote it?
I don't know,
If only we knew somebody who'd been here for many years,
from 1987 when they did this,
who could tell us what they
I
were
don't think
thinking
anyone's
back
ever
then.
changed this, to be honest with you.
Approved version, March 1997? Is that the last one? or no?
This looks like someone was working in the Word document, and they like
They just.
took a section down
Yeah, it's
to
like-
mess with it,
yeah.
and it never got deleted.
No, you're probably right.
Confused.
So on these extra ones right there, to the extent that Article 7, the exhibit Article 7 is the same as the original Article 7, all of that should be deleted.
So after Article 15, that's all.
Duplicate.
Right, but also too is,
Then we got 14. It is exactly the same.
Which is the
No, it's a little
same.
bit different.
yeah, that should be deleted in, because it's already says, yeah, 14.2 doesn't have anything on it. That Article 14 should be deleted in full.
Yeah, all right. So all of 7's gone after that.
Timing of decisions.
If they shut the AC off, getting hot.
Limited time. Lights are gonna shut off soon, too.
Yeah.
Remember when they
Almost
decided
there.
they were gonna save money and they shut off like the heat in the winter.
I missed that.
That was before you were here, I think.
Oh, yeah.
That cost the town a lot of money too, didn't it?
I'm not
The
sure.
Piper?
There's been,
Piper, yeah.
Awesome. That's so good.
there's been
Pro-
major
Probably
insulation though.
you got
since
fire
then.
Yeah,
mains
yeah,
and
yeah.
everything
Yeah.
else, so you probably
Yeah.
got like a 3-inch feed.
Yeah.
I know town's gotten a lot of money to,
I think that Article 8 is the same as the Article 8 that's already there, so delete all that, we don't need that twice. So I think,
After Article 15, everything's struck.
yeah,
yeah, and then, so I think what we need to do is, I think we need to request from the town administrator the okay to have our rules reviewed by town, whoever town council is, and make any other further suggestions to the rules. So I think what we should do is make a motion to have Dale revise the propose new rules according to our discussion tonight. And then, in addition, request from the town, through the town administrator, to have these rules reviewed and, any further suggestion by town council, and then brought back to us for a vote. I think that's what the motion needs to be. Cause I don't wanna change rules and then find out they're illegal after the fact.
I'll make a motion that Dale make the changes as we just went over, and then submit them to town council for further review and any suggestions to the language,
And then,
and then bring them back to us for a
right.
vote.
And to the extent that the town requires the review to be taken out of our budget, that it be taken out of our budget.
Second.
We do, it's like, our
We get
budget's
paid
smaller
for
than
this.
most, it's only like 3.4 million for the
This is a paid gig right here.
year.
Should not?
Second.
Did you second that?
Yes.
Second by Garrett. Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, we wanna make a motion to conclude this evening's meeting.
Make a motion to conclude the meeting.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion
Almost
carries.
enough.